What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Brick City Boys podcast. I'm so used to saying Brick City Boys podcast. Well, I guess we do have a podcast version now because we're going to be releasing that. But welcome to the Brick City Boys show. I am Matty Ice. He is Tommy D. Tom's, how we feeling tonight, man?
Hey man, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. We're getting through this week. It's flying by, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Oh my God, my adrenaline is like still going because Miami just played and they won. Kind of a last minute game. Some turnovers and stuff at the end kind of shot ourselves in the foot, but you get the win. That's all that matters. Against a pretty good Rutgers team too. I was actually impressed by them. But yeah, man, and we're gonna talk about the ACC Big Ten Challenge because that's obviously what's going on right now. There's some other ones going on. But I don't know if you saw, by the way, before we get into the show, the ACC is actually going to be scheduling the SEC now instead of the Big Ten. I think it starts
Oh no,
next
I didn't see
season, so
that.
it's going to be the ACC SEC Challenge, which I've always
Wow.
been someone that's very outspoken on the SEC because of tournament, how they perform in the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see. But
Damn.
we got to start the show off with how we always start the show off. Well, actually, no. Sometimes we end it with this, and that's the L of the week, right, man?
Ooh.
I know
We
you have
gotta
a
do
good
it.
one. And actually, I think it's funny because mine's related to yours, but it's not the same one as yours because I know what yours is. Why don't you get into yours first, though?
All right, first up, L of the week goes to our boy who we really like, actually, which sort of sucks I have to do this. But Dougie Buckets.
No one's
Oh
safe.
man.
Anyone can get the L of the week.
Doug Dougie Buckets, man. You gotta give him it. So I don't know if you guys saw, so I'll break this down real quick. So Syracuse guard Judah Mintz drew foul in the lane, and as he was walking towards the free throw line, he sort of played around with Doug's head, and then Doug literally just came up and smacked the crap out of Mintz right before everyone just started going at it. And it was the worst thing about this was Doug just sort of ran behind one of his
Well,
teammates and
well,
backed
yeah.
away.
Well, because the 7-footer on Syracuse ran up to him and he's like, oh shit, I'm not messing with that dude. I wanted to mess with the guard, not him. Yeah, no, I was pretty disappointed in Dougie Buckets. I'm still a fan of his, but um I wanted to so my L of the week is related to this. So I don't know if you saw, but after the game, so Bryant ended up winning that game on a buzzer beater. I think like seven guys were ejected or something. So
Seven,
for
yeah, I
leaving
have that
yeah,
written
for like
down.
leaving the
7.
bench and stuff. But after the game, Jared Grosso, the head coach for Bryant, and Jim, I'm gonna refer to him now. He doesn't deserve to have his name pronounced correctly, so I'm gonna go by what you call him, Boheme, Jim Boheme, the coach of Syracuse. Um, got all butthurt and basically was like complaining to the Bryant head coach. He's obviously upset with his team, because Syracuse is now 3-4, 3 straight losses to St. John's, the loss to Bryant, obviously, and then they just had a 29-point loss to Illinois. So my L of the week goes to
Ooh.
Jim Boheme, who, if you guys listen to the show, know that I am not a fan. And apparently, I didn't know this, but he's known for being a huge dick. So shout out to you, Jim Boheme. You get the L of the week. 2-3 zone is for weak people. There we go.
Hey, just slap him with the L as long as
Slap
they're.
him. He gets the L of the year. I mean, he might at this rate. His team not
Oh
looking too
man.
good. But man, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna talk about all the like preseason Thanksgiving week tournaments. I thought we could start with one that isn't as widely regarded because we went to it. We both were there, and that's the Wooden Legacy tournament that was held at the Anaheim Convention Center. Funny story. I don't think I told you this. I don't remember if I did. I actually, so there's two stadiums in Anaheim, right? There's the Honda Center, and then there's the Anaheim Convention Center. Me not
Yeah.
remembering there's the convention center, I actually drove to the Honda Center
No, you
with
didn't tell me
I
that.
with Monica's sister because that's who I took, and I pull up and we paid for parking, and I just saw people walking in. There was a Ducks game, And so I was like, oh yeah, no, we're good here. And then I looked and I was like, wait, why is everyone in hockey jerseys?
Oh my gosh. You definitely didn't tell me that. That's
Yeah, so that's
hilarious.
what happened. And then we started. So when you texted me, "Hey, are you there yet?" was when we were driving from the Honda Center to the convention center. So it was a
That
small
makes sense because
yeah.
you said you were gonna be there early, and then
Yeah.
like you got there super late, and I thought this guy was gonna get here early.
Yeah, and I told Monica's sister, I was like, "Don't tell Monica, like she's gonna make fun of me." And of course, like the first thing she says to her is that we went to the wrong stadium and stuff, and I was
Oh
just like,
my
"Oh my god."
gosh. That's hilarious. That's so funny.
But yeah, so obviously, Wooden Legacy was 14 tournament. Vanderbilt, Washington, Fresno State, and your St. Mary's Gales. Um, we were there for the first night, so we saw the St. Mary's Vanderbilt game and the Washington Fresno State game. The first game was the Fresno State Washington. I think Washington's pretty decent though. I was surprised. They have some dudes that like are from legit D1 programs. They have that transfer from Kentucky, Keon
Yeah.
Brooks. Their
They have
backup
like four
center.
transfers, and that one center is
Mhm.
massive.
Yeah, they have this athletic center.
Oh
I
my
can't remember his
gosh.
name. I think he transferred from. I can't remember where it was another Pac-12 school, I think. Um, but Washington ends up beating St. Mary's in the championship game. Um, but man, honestly, like I really liked what I saw from St. Mary's that first game, especially Mahaney as a freshman playing, like putting the team on his back, scoring off the bench, looked really impressive. He looks like a freshman too, dude. That guy is
Oh,
so.
dude.
Once he puts some weight on, we talked about this. He's gonna be pretty solid, man.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be a name to watch, and I definitely mentioned him the first week. I
Hmm.
didn't even know about him. I was like, "Yo, Mahaney, you gotta watch out for him." He's St. Mary's, averaging like 20 points per game right now. It's crazy. But yeah, we lost in overtime in the championship. We had two
Yeah.
good looks to end it, but we went to overtime and we just couldn't hang on. But yeah, Washington looking good. I'm curious to see how they fare in the Pac-12. To be honest.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a team to watch. It could make the tournament. Because I mean, I'm kind of unsure of the Pac-12 as a whole right now, Um, but I was surprised too. Saxon, dude, on St. Mary's, I was really impressed by him. Really patient when he was finishing. He has that nice hook shot. I think St. Mary's man has an opportunity to be like, I mean, if not as good, maybe even better. They really impressed me. I know that they didn't get the win against Washington, but I mean it's a long season. Um, but yeah, I'm impressed, man.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how we do. On site, we're playing actually New Mexico tonight, 6-0, New Mexico. We're 6-1, so that's gonna be a good challenge for tonight. I'm curious to see how that plays. But we got a tough schedule coming up. I mean, we got freaking Houston on
Mm.
Saturday. I'm a little nervous, not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
that's gonna be a game in itself. I think that because like I mean we'll get into this because I kind of wanted to just look at the top 25 too after we talk about all the tournaments that happened. Um, this year I really feel like it's so open. Literally anyone could win.
And you've
Like
been seeing that because teams have been losing. Usually,
yeah.
teams are like projected to go undefeated in the non-conference, and there's been losses left and right by
Well, and
good
then like
teams.
yeah, and then like a team like Purdue who wasn't ranked in the top 25, who was I think they were even outside the top like 30, is in the top I think the top 5 now, right?
Yeah,
Or somewhere around there, maybe 6. So and then UConn too just kind of came
yeah.
out of
UConn
nowhere
came
and
out
they
of
look
nowhere.
really good. I was really impressed by them. So let's just get into the tournaments right now, man, because we're already talking
Yeah,
about all these teams and stuff. You want to get into the Maui
I was gonna say
Invitational
Maui's my
first?
next up that I
Okay.
have.
So I think we just got to get this out of the way. We talk about them every episode, and that's Louisville. Um, I
Louisville did
mean,
not look good.
lost to every team. It was an average of 26 points to Arkansas, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati. It's. I think we should just say this about Louisville, and then like we don't have to talk about them ever again unless they start turning it around. They just we talk about this in our college basketball chat. They just don't have the talent to compete. They lost a lot of guys. Um, they have guys that are starting that wouldn't start on another D1 program. It's just gonna take time for them to build and stuff. And I mean, that's what it is to me, you know. Um, I mean, that's all I'm going to say about them. They just can't compete, you know, with the roster that they have. But I will tell you this: a team that really impressed me, man, was Creighton. I was really
Man,
impressed by them.
Creighton looked real impressive, dude.
Yeah,
They looked so
obviously
good.
they lost. They lost in the championship game to
Championship
Arizona.
game to Arizona. Yep.
Yeah. But they beat Texas Tech. They beat Arkansas. That game was really good. That was probably my favorite game that I watched. The best, most memorable. Um, went down to the wire. I really like Baylor Shireman on this team. I really like Nemhard. Nemhard was really good this tournament. I think he won tournament player.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But that game against Arkansas, man, him, Shireman, and Kalkbrenner, I think they all went for 20. So that trio was really deadly. And then I mean, even Arkansas, like Anthony Black was really impressive. Ricky Council too, and Trevon Brazil too. We talked about him as a transfer impact. I was really impressed with his ability to shoot the three, and you know his versatility as a sophomore. He looks really good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
talking about Arkansas, I mean, they looked good when they beat San Diego State for the third place game. I was watching that; they won by 4. It was a
yeah,
pretty close game. I thought San Diego State looked really good game one, and then they came out going against Arizona in the first half, and I was like, oh my gosh,
hmm
like San Diego might do something with Arizona, but then they just faded off in the second half. They ended up losing by 17, so that was definitely a bummer.
yeah.
But
What were your takeaways from Arizona though? The only game I did see was like part of the championship game, so I didn't necessarily see all of their games. Um, I think that you know I think they can be a really good team again. I wasn't really expecting this from them. I don't know what you were expecting.
I mean, they were ranked 14th for a reason, so I knew coming in they're going to be good. They
Hmm
took care of Cincinnati. I didn't watch that game at all, but I did watch the Arizona San Diego State game, which I was saying that
Yeah,
the Arizona did just pull away in the end and just played really really well.
yeah.
But
I liked Courtney Ramey in there because he was injured at the start and he came back for I think it was the game before the championship. Or no, he was there for 3 games. I think maybe he played in all of them. But I think he added something that they needed, some guard play. Because I think he's a 5th-year senior, so some adding that experience factor as well. So, but yeah, man.
yeah, then that final game, that championship game, I watched Creighton, Arizona. I thought that was going to come down to it pretty much did come down to the wire. It was a
Yeah.
2-point game at the end, all said and done. But yeah, Arizona squeaked out the championship. But Arizona looking good, looking impressive. But Creighton, I think, was a team that definitely looked the most out of this Maui Invitational.
Yeah. So let's get into the one that I probably watched the least amount of games. I don't know about you. And that was the Battle for Atlantis. I don't know how many of these you saw. Um,
Yeah, I was here and there. The only game I really, really watched was the Kansas game where they hit the game winner, which was
oh
crazy.
yeah,
Um, Literally, he threw up a 3 and the guy didn't box out and he just
yeah.
made a
Mhm.
layup to win the game. It was silly. I was like, oh my gosh.
What do you think of Kansas? Because like honestly, I'm not really sure about them. Like honestly, they're offensively, I think they've struggled a lot. They've, played that small ball lineup with KJ Adams at the center. I think honestly, like Grady Dick is probably the only one that can consistently hit a three. Um,
I
I don't
mean,
know what to think of them. Like I just don't see like the floor spacing. I just don't see them as a team that can really, you know, go far in the tournament because of that, inconsistency with shooting.
yeah, it's funny you say that because the only 2 games I really watched was the semis and then I watched the final game versus Kansas, Tennessee. Because I was like, championship game, gotta watch it,
Yeah, that's the one I watched. Yeah.
And Kansas did not look good.
No.
Tennessee just handled business. I was impressed with Tennessee,
Yeah.
actually. And Tennessee, I mean, they didn't have any cakewalks. I mean, they destroyed Butler by 35, no, 25, sorry, 26. And then they barely beat SC by 7. So I mean, they definitely had 2 good games in the beginning, but yeah, they took care of Kansas. And Kansas, I mean, I think Kansas ran out of gas after the third game.
Yeah. No, and then I think too the other team that I wanted to talk a little bit about too that was kind of in the consolation section of the bracket was NC State. You know, we talked about the
Dude,
ACC not looking good, but I mean, the biggest question for us was like who else besides oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Their star player. Is it Terquavion Smith?
Smith.
Um, I think it is. Um, you know, they lost a close game to Kansas. They end up beating Dayton, and I think they blow out Butler.
Yep,
So, I
exactly.
mean, they were looking good and, you know, they were getting it going. I think that they're definitely a team to watch in the ACC. And, you know, we talked about the ACC being very top heavy. Um, I think that they're a team that can make the tournament, and I think they're looking really good.
I mean, yeah, no, definitely. They definitely have the team. And I saw them playing. I think they played last night, and I think they got the win. I need to look at the scores, but I thought they were playing
Oh,
last night.
yeah, they played Wisconsin, I think, in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. I was
Okay.
going to bring that up too. Yeah, they look good in that game. No, they didn't play Wisconsin. Who did they play?
I'm
Oh
gonna
no, they
try to
played.
pull it up right now.
No, you know what?
Maybe
They
I'm wrong.
played.
Maybe they didn't play yesterday.
No, they did. They played a random school though. It wasn't. I'm thinking because Georgia Tech was the one that beat Wisconsin. That's what I was thinking of. Um,
Hmm.
or no, sorry, not Georgia Tech. Wake Forest. I don't know what I'm saying. Um, but yeah. So
You know who lost last night?
hmm,
I'm looking at the scores, and they got blown out. Number 6 Baylor,
Baylor. Yeah, I saw part of
70-96
that game.
Marquette.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that later.
I
Um,
didn't watch that game.
but
Hmm.
yeah. Do you want to get into the two Phil Knight tournaments?
Yeah, those were fun. I tried
Yeah,
to
these
watch
are
as
the ones I
much of
watched the
those.
most. Yeah,
Yeah.
these were the good ones. Let's start with the Invitational. So we
Okay.
already mentioned it earlier. I mean, the big winner of this is UConn, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
they looked really good. Double-digit win against Oregon. Um, I think Alabama and Iowa State they all beat by double digits. So, you know, just kind of dominating the field. Sonogo is a monster, dude. He's in the
He's a
running for
tank.
one of the best players in the country. Um, they really impressed me. What were your takeaways, man, from UConn from watching them in the PK Invitational?
Like you said, man, they just look really good. And getting that, I mean, championship win over Iowa State, they just looked so good. It wasn't even a game in the second half. I was like, I'm gonna turn this off.
Yeah.
Um, you know
What?
who sort of impressed me the most?
Hmm.
Purdue. I like
Oh,
Purdue in this.
you mean in the other tournament
Yes, sorry,
in
I
the PK?
flipped. I flipped the other one.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, they're named essentially the same thing. We'll get into them. We'll get into that. But yeah, man, I was really impressed because I mean, UConn did it overall as a team. Um, Iowa State, after watching them, I watched like three of their games. I think they're a really intriguing team. They're better than I thought that they were going to be. Really good defensively. We were all talking about that in our group chat. Very solid. It's just, you know, what do you get from them offensively? And
Yeah,
if they don't have like a guy that's drilling threes or just is hot or, you know, creating offense himself, they're kind of, you know, struggling offensively. And Caleb Grill was the dude that did that against UNC. Um, and I mean, with that being, should we talk about UNC? We need to talk about UNC, man.
let's do it.
I I it's just crazy. Like, okay, I shouldn't say crazy because I expected, you know, like a little bit of a letdown. I didn't necessarily think that they were the, you know, number one team in the country. Um, the thing that I'm just really confused by the last two games, the two losses that they had in the tournament, um, their guards were horrible. I remember what was the game that they had that went to like double OT or four OTs? Was it Alabama? It was against
Four
Alabama.
OTs. I think it was. I
Yeah, it
have
was
to
against
fact
Alabama,
check
right?
that, but
Yeah. Well, listen to this. Where is it? Caleb Love was 13 for 36.
Jeez.
That is how you take 36 shots in college basketball and your team is okay with it. Like, meanwhile, Armando Bacot took 12 shots. RJ
Yeah.
Davis took another 18. Pete Nance only took 4. Like, how does that happen? Um, I think that the sooner that these two guards realize they need to distribute for this team to be successful is when they can, sort of turn it around. But like, I don't know where I really have this team, man. I think that they're, closer to the 20 range, to be honest with you. Coming into the season, I had them more in the like 15 range, 10, 15 range, to be honest. Um, but I mean, this might be the fourth best team in the ACC, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I just don't know, man. But yeah. Anyways, do you want to get into the oh, the
What
other
do you
thing
think?
too,
Go
UNC
ahead.
had trouble against Portland too.
I was gonna say Portland only. I mean, they
Portland
only won
looked
by 8.
good.
Portland looked
Portland looked
really good.
good. Yeah, Shante Liggins from he was the coach at Eastern Washington when they had the Groves brothers and they were in the tournament.
Mm,
Looking good. Um I don't get all the Villanova hate. They're missing their two best players and they still are like competing at a relative level. I don't think this was um a major like blow to them. Oh, I have it down here. RJ and Caleb Love were 7 for 31 from 3
oh
for
my
the dude.
goodness.
That's awful. um yeah, but anyways, um yeah, I don't know what's I mean, I do know what's going on with UNC, but it's like I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it. But we'll see. Do you want to get into the PK85 though now?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good with me.
So obviously the highlight was Purdue, so I think we should just start with them.
Man, Purdue
Um
looking good.
Dominant. They like dominated Gonzaga, which I want to get into Gonzaga in a separate
Ooh, we
conversation
could talk
maybe
about
when
it,
we're
Zach. I'm
done.
down for
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
let's talk about them at the end of this. They beat they beat West Virginia by 12, the Zags by 18, and they beat Duke by 19, I think it was. And Zach Edey was just
Edie.
dominant. 22, 12, and 3 blocks in this tournament. But what shocked me the most was their two freshman guards, Braden Smith and Foster. I can't remember his name. They really impressed me, honestly, man. Watching the game, they really controlled the tempo, didn't really make too many mistakes. They weren't like putting up like 30 points a game, but like, making timely shots. And, they really impressed me.
Yeah. No, they looked really good. They took care of everyone they played pretty much. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was surprised, and I think that this team is better than last year's team. Which I mean, you had Jaden Ivey go in the top 5 in the draft, and then you lose Trevion, and then you lose you lose other guys as well. It's just it's crazy because they lost like 7 dudes,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's yeah. But I mean, Edie's on the floor more. These other guys just kind of play well together. I like Caleb First off the bench. I think he's really good. Um, but yeah, um, what other games from this one stuck out to you, man?
I was gonna say I wanted to talk about Duke. What did you think of them? Because I still think they have a lot to figure out, especially going in
Yeah, I
to
think
conference play.
I think they have a lot to figure out. Um, to be honest, I wish we were playing them earlier. Um, because I
Yeah,
think they
right.
will. I think they will
I-
figure it out. I think Kyle Filipkowski has been a lot better than I thought. He's been one of the best players in the country. You could even argue. Um, Jeremy Roach has been pretty good. I think it's just getting the adjustment of playing together. Um, Dariq Whitehead hasn't really played a majority of minutes because he's been dealing with that injury. Um, I think once he gets it going, like if you like point to one of their Achilles heels, it's like they need like a go-to scorer, right? That can just create his own shot. And I think that that's something that he can do. You know, he's a really good slasher. Um, but I think they figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that I have more faith in Duke figuring it out than UNC does, to be honest with you.
Ooh. Okay, I give you that.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's a hot take at all. But yeah, man, what do
The
you think of
other
them? Oh, sorry.
No, I think, like you said, I think I wish you guys were playing them sooner than later because I feel like they will figure it out. But this non-conference is definitely just going to be a period of adjustments and trying to learn. I mean, it's his first year at the helm, man. I mean, you gotta give him some slack, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I will say, like, I mean, there's more preparation for this versus like when Jay Wright just left Villanova. There wasn't really a transition period. You know, everyone knew Coach K was leaving. Jay Wright just left. So I think that's another reason why Villanova is struggling. But you know, I think they turn it around quick. I think Shire will do like a good enough job, you know, for them to do it. They have Ohio State right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what the score is. We can go over that probably towards the end of the show because some of these games are going to be, you know, more towards like halftime and stuff. Um, but let's talk about the team that we've talked probably the most about off air or whatever, and that's Gonzaga. What's going on with the Zags, man?
oh man. So first game they had Portland State, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much cakewalk, 102-78, easy win there. Then you get matched up with Purdue. And
Mhm.
honestly, I was like, okay, number 6 Gonzaga, number 24 Purdue, like this is gonna be a good game. I actually watched this game, and Gonzaga could just not get it going. They ended up losing 84-66. So I mean, it was pretty much a runaway from the pretty much first. I'd say first 10 minutes were close, but then it was just a runaway. And I was like, what? And I feel like they got lucky. They got to play Xavier for the third place game. And even then, they barely beat Xavier by
Well, Xavier,
4.
I think Xavier is pretty good this season. They're going to be
Oh,
like the third best team in the Big East. Like they're not bad,
yeah, they weren't bad, but I was like, okay, they got.
but they definitely they could have lost that game easily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was only a
and
4-point game, and
and
that was really close.
I guess I should adjust that too because that's not something we usually see from Gonzaga, right? It's usually, you know, they have a comfortable enough lead against a team like that.
That's
Um,
what I'm used to them
yeah,
seeing my whole life. They always teams that they should beat, they usually beat.
yeah,
You
and I
know,
mean, let's just say it too. Like they still have the most efficient offense in the country. Um, but still, with that being said, I think there's a lot of question marks. Um, I mean, case in point against Purdue, right? No one could really guard Zach Edey, and
Edie was a
then
monster.
yeah, they couldn't have because I think a lot of times it was what is his name, Efton Reed on him in that game, and then they had Drew Timmy at the 4, but then you know Purdue could kind of stretch things out, and they were getting whatever they wanted. Um, and then Drew Timmy tried to guard him, and it's just like
It's
it's not
over.
happening. Zach Edey's 7'4". I think that they could have problems, man, if they play like an early, like a mid major with a dominant post guy. Like I could see them having, you know, issues depending like if that mid major has shooting around him or whatever. Um, to me, like I mean, we talked about this last week, and I brought this up to you. I don't before this tournament even happened. I don't know if this is a one-seeded Gonzaga team. I don't think it is. I think this is gonna be the first time. I was looking. I think there's only been one time in the last like 8-9 years that they finished outside the top 10 in the final rankings, and I think this will
Damn.
be one of those times.
We'll see,
Is
man.
and I think a lot of it is guard play. Like they don't have those dominant guards. You don't see a Jalen Suggs out there. You don't see a Nemhard out there. You don't see, you know, such and such out there. It's I mean, I don't know, man. I think the depth is not what it usually is as well, and I don't know. I thought I was going to see more from Malachi Smith, um, the transfer from the Mocs, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely not. I wasn't high on Gonzaga at the start, you know. and I think I'm kind of in that same area now. You know, they've kind of not done anything to reassure me in any way.
Yeah.
But
Well, we feasted during Thanksgiving break because all these tournaments and it was great. But I want to do something. I didn't tell you about this because I just thought I'd
oh my
throw it into
god,
the show.
something
But
stupid.
we're gonna do our patented, overrated, perfectly rated, and underrated for Thanksgiving food.
Oh,
First up,
okay, I love this. Let's go.
I didn't tell you about this. I just wanted to hit you with it. First up, we got stuffing.
Ooh, this is okay. I think that a lot of people actually don't really like stuffing. Um, I'm gonna say perfectly rated. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's
All right.
solid. Like but it's not like you're, the best side. And I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta have stuffing. But I don't think anyone's really like that. So I'll go there.
Next up, we got mashed potatoes.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. You if you okay, because I've had some bad mashed potatoes, and I don't know how you mess up mashed potatoes. I'm gonna go overrated in general, but like underrated. Like my mom's making the mashed potatoes, and I know they're gonna be good. So like I'll go perfectly rated in that scenario. But when you show up and like you giving me something with no butter in it, no like no garlic or any flavor, like nah, man, nah.
Okay. All right.
If you
Next
literally
up,
just mash potatoes and not put anything in it, like sorry. Okay, go ahead.
next up, we got turkey.
Overrated. I already knew you were
Yep.
gonna ask me about it. It's dry. It's so dry.
It's
The
the worst
only
meat. It's
the
literally the
only
worst meat.
so Tommy, the only good turkey I had was actually this year. Instead of making it ourselves, with Monica's family, we got a smoked turkey from a
Ooh.
barbecue place, and it was actually
Ooh.
juicy. It
Okay.
was good. But then I'm thinking, like, man, if you just smoked a chicken, it would have been better because it's like, more juicy. But I'm
Damn.
gonna say, like, as a Thanksgiving food, like, because no one's smoking their turkeys, they're just throwing
No.
that shit in the oven. I'm gonna say overrated. Yeah,
All right.
you know what though?
I was gonna say. I
Green
was
bean
gonna say
casserole,
green bean.
underrated, underrated. Everybody hates on that. It's a game changer. I love me some green bean casserole.
Hell yeah, that was actually my next thing.
Great
Then
job,
next
Tommy.
up, we got I don't know. Everyone has different ones, like sweet yams or sweet potatoes. I don't
Overrated.
know.
Those are nasty.
Really?
I'm not a fan of those at all.
Oh, dude, I love that stuff.
It's a dessert trying to be a main course thing. Like
It is a dessert.
I'm not a fan of it. Putting some it's a you know what, honestly, it's a WPS. It's some white people shit, bro. I'm not a fan of it.
I
And
wasn't
honestly,
gonna.
if
I
you
wasn't
ask
gonna.
me
Go ahead.
if you ask me cranberry, yeah, that would have been overrated too.
I'm not
It's
gonna ask you
it's
that.
disgusting. Pumpkin pie, underrated. I love
Ooh.
pumpkin pie. I don't care if ever I just love pumpkin. I would eat pumpkin pie. Oh man, that reminds me. I gotta go. That at Coco's. Do you like pumpkin pie, Tommy?
It's all right.
Okay, they have a pumpkin harvest pie. So it's a pumpkin pie, but on top it's this like pumpkin cream, like pumpkin.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's on top of the pumpkin pie. Oh, money. So good. You got
Hell
me
yeah.
talking about food now, man. This was
Hey
dangerous.
man, we just had Thanksgiving, man. I'm still thinking about
I
food.
know. Yo, by the way, if you're a fan of the show, you already know. Guess what I had for lunch today, Tom's?
Chipotle.
Flood bowl, baby. Flood bowl.
Let's go. Chipotle is key. I can't wait for them to sponsor us one
I
day.
know. NIL deal for us. Flood bowl. Flood bowl Friday, baby.
Oh man.
Um oh man, that was fun. We got to do more of those.
Yeah, I just hit you with that. You didn't even know it was coming.
I know, man. I wasn't ready. Well, I was, but I'm always ready for food. Do you want to kind of look at the top 25? This is kind of like spur of the moment, so just like bear with us and just
Yeah, let's
kind of
take a look at it. Let
um
me let me pull the top 25 right now and we can take a look. It just came out on Monday. Every Monday is when the rankings come
yeah.
out. So
So, I mean, Houston fully expect them to be up there. When do they play St. Mary's?
Saturday.
Oh, okay, so that's something to watch. Texas, I mean, Virginia got the win over Michigan. It was close.
Arizona 4. Nice.
Yeah,
They moved up 10
Arizona.
spots on the win.
Purdue moved up 19 spots.
19.
The best week of Boilermaker
Jeez.
ball that we've seen in forever. I messaged Tyrone and he was having a good time.
Hey.
Creighton moved up a few. UConn moved up 12
UConn,
spots.
12.
Love it. Number 8. Kansas moved down 6. Alabama up 7. Tennessee moved up 9. They look good. Yeah. Auburn
Gonzaga down 8.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they move up a little bit, but I think they're in that 10 to 15 range. You know,
Yeah.
it just depends. Like, I think honestly, this season could be the year that they lose to two different WCC teams.
Damn.
Yeah, I think this could be. I think St. Mary's is definitely a game because you talked about it. The atmosphere there when they're playing at home is just
tough at home. Telling
yeah.
you.
So it's just different. And then, I mean, Santa Clara's look good. I think San Francisco's been pretty solid too. So, but yeah. Who else we got? Michigan State moved down. North Carolina moved down 17 spots. Duke moved down 9. ACC trending down, apparently.
UCLA moved down too, which I didn't even know they were ranked, to be honest. That's crazy.
Yeah, they were. Iowa State moved into the rankings. San Diego State moved down 7 spots. And then Ohio State, which, I mean, with this ACC Big Ten Challenge, we're going to see, I mean, UNC's in a tight one with Indiana right now, so that's a game to watch. Notre Dame, I was going to ask you about this game because I was going to take Notre Dame, is up by 24 against Michigan State. Purdue ended up winning by 10 against Florida State. Duke beat Ohio State. So
there you go.
won by 9. Yeah. And then I think, is there any other ACC ones that we could bring up? Miami Hurricanes won, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there against Rutgers, who's looks like a solid team. Boston College and Nebraska, but that's about it.
Sorry, we got games to watch. Starting let's tomorrow. This game's gonna be really good. 4:00. Don't tell my boss, but it's on work hours.
I'm a texter.
Oh my gosh. Creighton, who we just spoke really high of, number 7.
Ooh, that's gonna be
number 2, Texas.
That's gonna be a really good game.
That's gonna be really good. 7 versus 2 tomorrow, 4 p.m., 7:00 Eastern. So all you guys on the East Coast, you guys don't have to worry about being on the clock.
Yeah. I think even that Arizona-Utah game will be pretty solid. Kansas Seton Hall, not bad. But yeah, we'll see. And then, I mean, this weekend there's going to be some good ones as well. I think Baylor and Gonzaga play. That's going to be.
They play Friday night. Friday night's going to be good too. They got Baylor Gonzaga at 5:00, right when you're off, and then you got Illinois versus Maryland, and that's going to be a damn good game as well.
Yeah. Illinois, Maryland. Yeah. Maryland looked, I mean, they played Miami. So I saw them play. They impressed me. I don't know. I don't know if I would say, I think that 20 range is like, it's so hard to tell this early. They have some dudes though. They have some dudes. No one expected them to be this good. But I think in that 20 range, I don't want people to like overreact, and stuff. But yeah. And then I think conference play is going to start up here, man. So, because I know ACC starts like this Saturday or something. So
no way. Are you serious?
We're on one because I think I saw that Virginia and Florida State play this. I want to say Saturday, it is, or Sunday. So we're in for it, bro. It's starting up.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
Last thing we gotta do before we end. We got to give out some W's of the week.
Oh, before we do that, can I give a shout out to the fans? Any Miami Hurricane apparel stickers, they got it. They got this dope hat, unreleased merch. Hopefully they have it come out soon. Make sure you use our code BCity for 10% off at aboutthefans.com. Shout out Jordan. Shout out AB. What were you gonna say, Toms? Let's get into it.
Let's get into the W's of the week. I know you have one. I know I have one. I think I just found another one though while we're doing the show. But do you want to start us off?
What was the wait? I have a W of the week. I didn't have one.
Oh man, I thought you did.
You know what? I do have one. I'll do this. I'll give this guy one. Caleb
You
Grill,
better-
man, had like
Ooh,
30
okay.
something points against UNC. Love to see it. Dude was a flamethrower. They actually interviewed him on Field of 68 after dark. I think Greg Waddell that we had on the show before was the one interviewing him. I can't
Oh
remember.
wow.
Yeah, we'll have to have him on again. Funny guy too on TikTok. He's hilarious. So shout out to him. But they were interviewing him and they asked him what his pregame music was that he listened to.
Yeah.
Fully expecting to, some hip hop artists nowadays. He said Metallica, Motley Crue, and I forgot what the last one was, but I was just like, damn, okay.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's funny. But yeah, who's your dub of the week?
Dub of the week goes to Zach Edey. We talked
There you
about him
go.
earlier, man, but he's been a tank. Through 6 games, he has 5 double-doubles, averaging 21.7 points and 12 rebounds. That is a monster right there. And
Love it.
I was going to say another runner-up was going to be Brandon Miller on Alabama. He's been killing it.
Yeah, he's been good. Honestly, man, like I wasn't even going to get into this, but now I feel like just little mention. There's some guys, man, that are making waves, and like him, Anthony Black on Arkansas, and then I mean Nick Smith hasn't even played yet. Dariq Whitehead, Philip Kowski has been playing well. There's some freshmen that are performing at a very, very high level. And I know there's a lot of talk about Wembanyama and Scoot as the top 2, but I think this is going to be a really good draft class too.
Yeah, there's some good players standing out. Since you mentioned Arkansas, I don't know if anyone watched that game on Monday versus Troy. Troy looked really, really good. They were literally in it 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes, last 10 minutes, they ended up losing by 13. But like it was tied with like 10 minutes to go, and Troy looked really good.
I was watching that one because I think Troy was the team I think that beat Florida State.
Florida State, yeah.
And they beat maybe it was just Florida State, but they look good, man. So it was a double-digit win for Arkansas, but it was a close game. That score was not indicative of how the game was going.
Yeah, no.
So, but with that being said, make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, interact with us, and interact on the podcast side of it as well. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts: iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify. With that being said, Tommy D, what are the closing words of wisdom?
Closing words of wisdom is everybody must wake up at 7 o'clock on Saturday and go watch the USA in soccer. I'm not even a soccer fan, but hey, it's USA. You got to support, right?
Absolutely.
No? Yes.
Absolutely.
You got to go support. Go USA. Let's get this win.
There's nothing more American than slamming down some breakfast burritos, watching Team USA kick some Netherlands ass on Saturday morning. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Have a great night.